Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. James here. Today we're in my garage with Type R again. We're going to be hardwiring a dash cam that I bought. I bought the kit a while ago, just ordered the dash cam from Amazon. So I'm going to show you guys how to hardwire it. This makes everything nice and tidy. You don't have any wires hanging. Just run it straight from the fuse box up through the pillar and plug it into your camera. So let's get started. All right, so our first step is going to be taking this kind of kick panel off. Underneath here, like just under there, is our fuse box. So we need to get access, and this will also get us access to wrap the cabling through there and up through this pillar to our roof. Okay, so basically just there's a few pins here and a few pins right around there. Just kind of give it a good yank. Don't be scared. You shouldn't break anything and you'll get that off. So on the Type R, I only have a traction control button, but on other models you might have more buttons. Make sure that you unplug the harness of all of them. They'll just be right on the other side. 2 pinch clips, pinch it together, and it should come right out, no problem. All right, we'll do that and I'll get back to you. All right, so we have the panel off and we have access to everything. There's the fuse box there. All right, so next thing we need to do is take this off. So to remove this trim here, you have to press down really hard on this with, I can't do it right now, but possibly with your thumb. Let's see. Just keep fiddling around with the different edges and push down till like you get an edge pop out. Then just grab a pry tool if you have one, or even, there you go, just a pry tool, pop it open. There's an 8mm in there, take it out. So after that screws out, you should be able to just pry this out. Hard to do with just one hand. There's gonna be clips. Just keep pulling and this whole thing will come out. And there we go. It's out. That's your side curd in there. And there's the hole that you'll feed, yeah, right there. You'll feed your wires through to get to the bottom down there. And feed it there. Feed it behind the airbag. Make sure the wire doesn't cross the airbag at any point. So it's running there. And then it just tucks into the headliner like no problem. You just pull this back a little. Oh, sorry for the close-up. And it'll just tuck right in without seeing it. And then just run out the length that you need where you want it. And that's really about it. All right, so now we're at the fuse box. So if you want accessory power only, so when the engine's in accessory mode, you want to use this first fuse right there. This is number 1 fuse. If you want your camera to be always on, then you're going to use number 16, which is the third 20 right there. Okay, so basically grab some pliers, you pull out the fuse, you plug in the Hardwire Kit right into that fuse slot. So let's do that now. We're going to do the accessory one for this example. So there we go. We've got that plugged in. This particular Hardwire Kit has spot for an extra fuse. So that first 10 you see is the original 10, and then this one is for the rest of the circuit. So now we're going to move on to the ground. So the ground, oh, where is it? Is that screw right there. Right there. So just unscrew it and hook up your ground to it, and that should be it. So there you go, the ground is attached to that. The fuse is attached down there. It's all running up to the camera. Now, obviously, before you put everything back together, grab your camera, plug it in, make sure it turns on with accessory mode. So let's do that now. So we have the camera plugged in. I haven't mounted it yet because I still have to position it properly. But if everything's wired correctly, it should turn on. So with just the accessory button, let's try it out. Boom.
Welcome to use Hello Cam.
There you go. So it turns out our wiring is good.
The TF card is not inserted.
And all we have to do is close everything up, tuck it in, place the camera where we want it, and good to go. Everything is nicely hidden away. No cables anywhere, and it's hardwired, always going to turn on. All right, guys. So that's the end of the simple install. Basic hardwire for your camera. The next part of the video is going to show you guys what I personally did with mine. I did it in my sport touring, and I'm going to do it in my Type R now. It kind of adds a switch, so it lets me change the power source from always on fuse or the accessory fuse. So let's say I leave it parked somewhere where I want the camera to be constantly on. I just press the button and the camera will stay on even if the car is off. I like this option in case, again, I don't feel comfortable leaving my car somewhere, and otherwise it doesn't drain my battery constantly by just having it plugged in. So we're going to go back to my desk. I'm going to show you the wiring and the button, and then I'm going to show you what changes you have to do to wire it in to the fuse box. Hey guys, if you stuck around, this is the second part of the DashCam tutorial where I'm going to show you what I did personally with the switch and how I kind of wired it all together and what it does and how it works. So here, let me show you. So right now it kind of looks like a big mess of wires, but let me explain. So this is the switch here, right? It's a simple switch. This is one mode and this is the other. It's not an on-off, it's kind of on and it switches between two. So one power source is like this and another power source is like that. So it doesn't have an actual off per se. Right, so those are the terminals, right? It goes into this wire harness. This makes it easy to unplug if I take off the panel again and I kind of need to disconnect it or take it off, put it away. This lets me just unplug it just like the vehicle stability assist button, the VSA button, traction control. So we have this. So let's start with the first wire. The green wire here on my particular switch is the common wire. So basically this is the output. This leads straight to the actual camera charger, right? So then from the camera charger we still have our ground. Okay. Next we have the black wire here. This is the ground for the LED light. So my switch here has a red LED like ring around it, like shines red. This tells me it's on, and I don't know, it looks better than just a plain switch in my opinion. So that's why I did that. So that's the ground for that, right? Next we have our normal open and our normal closed. So basically this one is when the button is like this. That's our normal closed. So the circuit is closed. I'm going to be using this one when I want to leave my camera in like parking mode or surveillance mode. So it's going to stay on even though the car is off. It's going to plug into a fuse which is always on. I'll show you guys which fuse that is after, but it's a fuse that has to do with the auto entry. So it's always on, so it's going to keep the camera always on. And then the other one right there, that's for this mode where it's normal closed. Oh, I think normal open, my bad, yeah, normal open. So this is basically going to be plugged into a fuse, which is the accessory fuse, only on when the engine's on. So this is your standard camera turns on when your engine turns on, and then when you turn your car off, the camera turns off. And it's like that. So this is the kerfuffle of wires. Again, this goes into a fuse that's always on. This goes to accessory fuse, which is only on when the engine's on. And then this is the ground for the actual camera. That's the ground for the LED light. And here you see, oh, there's two cables attached. This is the power for the LED light right there. And that's the cable for the normal open switch. Doesn't matter which one you really attach it to, because both sources are gonna pretty much constantly give power. So just attach it to one of them so that your LED turns on. And that's it. Alright guys, so here are all our wires. We basically, where we left off, we have the ground wire for the basic cable, and there's our fuse box. I've removed the fuse number 16 and number 1. 16 is the always on, 1 is accessory on. So basically we plug in the two ends of the button into each, depending where the button position you want. You're either going to use normal close or normal open, and you just plug it into whichever one you want. I have one plugged into 16 and one of them plugged into 1. Next thing we need to do is attach the black or the other ground for the LED to the same screw we attached the ground for our camera. So there you go, both grounds are attached and we're good to go. So now we're going to test it just like before we close everything up. So I'm going to plug this, oh, where is it? There we go. I'm going to plug the actual switch into the harness and we're going to test it. All right, so let's see if it works. Right now, this is it closed, set for accessory only. So if we press the button, the camera should turn on. And
Welcome to
the
use
camera turns
HelloCam.
on. Perfect. It's now off.
The TF card is not inserted.
The camera should turn off. And it did. And the next is if we press the button, this should be the always on mode.
Welcome to use HelloCam.
There we go.
The TF card is not inserted.
So now it's not in accessory mode, but the camera turned on. Just what we need. Perfect. Important thing I want to mention is that make sure that you make your cables long enough to reach wherever you plan on putting this button. I plan on using one of the empty slots on this kick panel here. So it's beside this harness that fits into it and it reaches, so I should have no problems there. In the next part here, we're going to show you how I did that. So I just removed one of the empty slots basically. I'm going to do my best to center it and drill out a hole with a step drill. There's lots of this extra plastic here that's going to have to be drilled and cut out. I did it before on my sport touring, so I'm sure I'm going to be able to do it again. So I'm done installing the switch. That's how it looks. Drilled it out. And then basically it's just going to go in there in the empty spot. I'm going to plug it in, install everything back in, close everything up, and I'll show you guys how that turns out. Alright guys, one last test. Everything is nicely put back together. Boom. There's the switch. Nice and clean. So one last test to make sure it's working. Camera's plugged in. Accessory mode.
Welcome to use HelloCam.
There you go. Camera's on and working.
The TF card is not inserted.
Next, we're going to turn it off. Wait for the camera to turn off. Bye-bye. And we're gonna go over here, press the button, boom, that should switch it over.
Welcome to use Halo
And
Cam.
there you go. Car's completely off, but the
TF
camera's
card is
working.
not inserted.
So there you go, guys. All right, everyone, that's it for this video. Hopefully you found it helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to comment. I'll do my best to help out with anything. Other than that, like, comment, subscribe if you like the video. And take care. See you next time.